Okay, so what is your name?
My name is Sarvagya Saxena.
Sarvagya. Sarvagya, so please tell me about yourself.
My name is Sarvagya Saxena. I have completed my graduation from Riva. Then I have completed my post graduation in MCA in 2023. Now I am working as an intern in Pro Skill Hub from last 6 months.
What are the languages you have covered during your full stack development certification?
The languages which I have covered are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and React.Js as a framework.
So what are your hobbies?
My hobbies are reading books, gardening, cooking, etc.
What are your strengths?
My strength is I am confident in doing my work, and I am persistent also to complete my tasks.
What are your weaknesses?
My weakness is sometimes I take much time to complete a task, but I can overcome it.
So, Prabhat, sorry, Sarvagya, why did you choose IT as your career?
I always loved coding. That's why I decided to do MCA as a post graduation, and after that, I joined Pro Scale Up for coding as a career.
So are you experienced or a fresher?
I have an experience of 6 months working as an intern in Pro Scale Up.
What was the main language?
The main languages which I have covered as React.Js as a front-end framework,
How many
which
projects you
is
have
used
created?
mostly now in IT industry.
Okay. So how many projects you have created?
I have created major projects like e-commerce app based on React application, and also I have created a minor project that is a weather app.
Explain your recent project, please.
In my major project, I have created an e-commerce app which has the functionalities of add to cart and filter by category, filter by price, payment gateway, etc. These were the major functionalities I have added in my major project, that is e-commerce app. In my minor project in weather app, I have created a weather app which has the functionality to give us the weather conditions of any city, and it is linked to API.
Okay. What are the challenges you have faced during making those projects?
Various challenges I have faced that were making the functionalities working. Sometimes we make a code, but the code was not working. There were many errors in the project, but I make them workable and worked on various websites and see how to implement the functionalities. And in this way, I have created my project.
Great. So why do you want to switch the company?
I want to enhance my skills, and I also want to enhance my knowledge of IT. That's why I want to switch in your company as a career in IT industry.
Have you applied for any other companies as well?
No, I have not applied in another company.
So it's just your first interview.
Yes, it is my first company.
So let's move to the technical part. What is React.Js?
React.js is a front-end framework. It is basically a JavaScript front-end library used for building user interfaces.
What is Axios?
Axios is a way for API calling. From backend to frontend, we send the data in the form of APIs, and through Axios we can get it, and we can also do the HTTP web operations like CRUD operations they can be exhaust.get, exhaust.put, exhaust.delete. In this way, we can get the API calling.
What is NPM?
NPM is Node Package Manager. In it, there are various dependencies and packages that are installed in it to make the project workable.
What are the key features of React?
The key features are it is divided into components through which we can make our project very easy, and we don't have to write a code again and again. We can use a component in another component using import and export statements, and we can make it easy and um, very helpful in making a big project.
Are those the reasons that is the reason you choose React.Js as your um,
Yes,
front-end language?
that were the main reasons. Uh, that becomes it becomes very easy for us to work in React.js. That's why I choose this as a front-end framework.
Okay. What is virtual DOM and how it improves performance?
Virtual DOM is a blueprint of actual DOM, and through it we can improve the performance and uh, because React.js uses the virtual DOM for working in it various functionalities. That's why we can improve it, the performance also.
How is React hooks is different from class components?
React hooks are use state and use effect, which is used to set the values, to initialize the values in the variables, and to set the variable values through set statements, set functions. And in use effect, it is used to get the data in initial time. These are the uses of states. And the class component is also a way to work on states, because a class component is a stateful component, and uh, we can say functional components are stateless components. So functional components are not much popular right now. That's why we use
React
functional
hooks
components.
and functional components.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
What are higher order components?
Higher HOCs, that is higher order components, are very much popular in React. Through it, we can access the components and take the components as an argument, and wrap that new co- and wrap the original component with the higher order components. Basically, this is the basic use of higher order components, and through it also we can use the component logic in the application.
Are you aware about the term React fragments?
Yes, I know React fragments. These fragments are used to store the return keyword. We use fragments, React fragments, and we can use it to wrap to wrap the HTML codes. Basically, to wrap the JSX codes in a React application.
What is the purpose of key prop in React?
Can you? What is the question?
What is the purpose of key prop in React?
Okay. Props are used to transfer the data from parent component to child component, and through key we can only access that data which is used to transfer. Key is used for basically for ID, which data we have to send. That's why we use key prop in React.js. Basically, key is also a property in React.js to send the data through props.
Okay. What is the difference between props and the state?
Okay. Props are used to send the data from parent component to child component. And what is the question? Uh,
Okay.
can you tell me again?
What is the difference between props and a state?
Okay. Props and states. Yeah. Props are used to send the data from parent component to child component, And state is used to it is used for stateful components like functional components. In states there are two types of states we use, that are use state and use effect. Use state is used to initialize the values in variables and to set the variables to set function. And we can initialize the value of use state like 0, 1, or empty array or empty string. It depends on which type of application we are using. And in use effect, we through it we can access the data in initial time in our application. That's why we use effect. And it has also a dependency array through which we can send the dependency in it.
How is JSX is different from a regular JavaScript?
JSX is a combination of HTML and JS code, and it has all the in it. React.Js uses only JSX, not JavaScript code after return keyword. And JavaScript is a programming language used for web applications. This is the basic difference between them.
What is server-side rendering?
Can you tell
SR.
me again? I was not okay.
What is server-side rendering?
Server-side rendering is to render the components in React application. This is basically for the pages in web applications in React.Js.
What is the use of set state method in React?
Set state is used in class-based components, and through it we can set the states. Like in a functional-based component, we use state, and in class-based components, we use set state functionality to set the states, the values in states.
What is the difference between controlled and uncontrolled components in React?
Mm, Actually, I don't know this answer.
What is package.json and package.json?
Package.json is a file through which we can have packages installed in our React application. Whether the which type when we install the packages from npmjs.com, all the packages are installed in package.json file in its dependencies. And log.json file is a file which is not used in our React application. All the log files are installed in it. This is the
What is
basic
the
difference between package.json and package.log.json.
okay? What is abstraction?
Abstraction is a concept of oops, and abstraction means hiding. Abstraction it means uh, hiding the internal details, but showing only the functionality part. This is abstraction
What is the
in
difference between
oops.
sorry? Yeah, it is a part of loops, right? Okay, so what is the difference between multi-level and multiple inheritance?
Yes, multi-level inheritance it is in the form of sequential manner. When there is only a one parent, and after it, so many childs are associated with it in a sequential manner. For example, a child has child inherits the properties of its parent class, and that parent class is also a child of another parent. This is in the form of sequential manner. This is multi-level inheritance, and in multiple inheritance, there is only a one parent class, and various child classes are associated with it, and these classes inherits the properties and behaviors from the from the parent class. This is multiple inheritance. This is the basic difference between multi-level inheritance and multiple inheritance.
Okay, so what are the key features of React?
The key features of React are this is very fast framework. And this framework is divided into components through which a developer can access the code, a large code into various components, and through the developer can also read it and understand it and work on it very easily. This is the basic. This is the main advantage of React.js.
What is the difference between overriding and overloading?
Yes, method overloading is a way through which there is a one function name and various uh, function objects and functionalities are involved through it, and various parameters we can give in it. For example, a function name that is a run, wide run, and through in it we can give various parameters like int a, a b c, and in another um, uh, component we have the same function name, but it has different parameters. When we have different parameters with the same functional name, it is method overloading in JavaScript. And in method overriding, it is a concept of inheritance through which a child class which has the same function name can access the properties or behaviors of the parent class which has also the same function name. And this is in the form of inheritance. Is a inheritance in a relationship involved in it. And in method overriding, uh, the last function overrides the parent function, and only the last function parameters are given in output in the application. It overrides the parent component in method overriding. This is the basic difference between method overloading and method overriding.
Okay. What is encapsulation?
Encapsulation is a way to encapsulate the variables, data, and functions in a single class. It is through it we can wrap all the functions with data and variables in a single class. This is called encapsulation. Encapsulation means like a capsule. Encapsulate all the variables, data, and functions in a single class, an object. This is encapsulation.
Give me a real life example of abstraction.
Okay. When we have to make an application and we don't have to show the uh, coding part or the implementation part, but showing only want to show only the functionality. This is abstraction. For example, we have make a calculator and we have hide the implementation part, that is coding part, and that is the logical part, and shows only the functionality. This is called abstraction.
What are access specifiers?
Access specifiers are like private, protected, and public. Through public, we can access all the classes and objects, variables to it very easily, because all the things are public and accessible very easily. And in protected, we can only access the class which we have used. And in private, we don't have the power to access another class. This is the basic difference between private, protected, and public access specifier in JavaScript.
Okay. What is garbage collection?
Garbage collection is a collection through which the codes which are not used are automatically went to the garbage collector. This is garbage collection.
What is constructor?
Constructor is a way to make the objects. It is used to initialize the objects basically. This is called constructors.
What is destructor?
Constructor means restructure the objects and the arrays. We can restructure the objects through curly braces, and we can restructure the arrays through square brackets, and we can get the values from it. This is called destruction in JavaScript.
What is exceptional handling?
Exception handling is a way to accept the handles, and to handle the it is basically used to handle the errors through try catch block in JavaScript.
What is exception?
Exception means the errors through which we don't have to write it. For example, we have make a code in try block. We have made a logical statement in try block, and if it runs, then the try block executes. And if it doesn't run, and if there is a error in logic or it doesn't match to the basic condition, catch block is runs. This is called exception.
What is try or catch block?
And catch blocks are the parts of exception handling in JavaScript. In try block, there are codes and the conditions through which we can access the APIs in web applications, and all the codes which have to be run, and all the logics and conditions are put in try block. If it is doesn't run, then the try block runs, which has the message of error. This is try catch block basically in JavaScript.
What are the limitations of oops?
Oops has various limitations, like it makes sometimes it becomes problem for the developer to understand the code, and there are various functionalities like method overloading, method overriding. Sometimes it becomes confusable and hectic for the programmers to manage the code and to work on different projects. And the concept of classes and objects in oops are also very confusing and difficult to understand. That's why some programmers take it as a difficulty. But there are various advantages of oops, which makes it more powerful than procedure oriented programming languages.
Okay. Could you just explain me hierarchical inheritance with an example?
Hierarchical inheritance means multi-level inheritance. If we have a child class which inherits the properties and behavior from the parent class, then parent class also becomes a child from another parent class, and takes the it inherits the properties and behaviors from that parent class. This is in the form of sequential manner. This is, we can say, the hierarchical form of inheritance in JavaScript,
Okay.
which has a hierarchy from parent to child, then another child.
So, Sarvagya, what's your salary expectation?
My salary expectation is 6 lakhs per annum, but whatever the company expectations, we can discuss on it.